Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. My name is Evan McCauley, president of the club, and we are thrilled to have you joining us today. This meeting broadcast is available on HCTV as well as our Rotary of Hudson YouTube channel. Our club meets weekly at Laurel Lake for breakfast on Wednesday mornings from 7:15 to 8:30 a.m. Come out and join us for a meeting. We'd love to have you as a guest. To learn more about Rotary, our club, and the impact that we are having on the local community and world, please visit rotaryhudson.org. Enjoy the meeting today and be the inspiration.
Morning, Rotarians and guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. I'm Ron Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. Our invocation this morning is by Phil Warburton.
So I get the four-way test.
Good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning, Phil.
Let's bow our heads and pray, please. Help us today to see our opening prayer as a conversation really believing. You hear us and care about what we say. Remind us that you are perfect, Father, who listens carefully to his children and desires the very best for all of us. We thank you for this family of Rotarians to which we belong, and ask that you bless us as we meet together. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Phil. And lead us in the pledge and the four-way test. Congressman Tobin.
Good morning, Rotarians. Good morning.
No offense.
All right, the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
and fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you.
Did we want to
Thank
do
you, Tom. And to lead us in song, Evan McCauley.
any particular song, Evan? You want me to dig up?
So we don't even need the words for this one. We've got a special birthday celebration today. That is Coach Ed Sogan. So we're going to light up this room with our voices and sing happy birthday. Join with me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ed. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Evan McCauley.
Next time I'll put the words up.
Good morning, fellow Rotarians.
Good morning, Evan.
Good morning also to any community members or family or friends that may be tuning in through HCTV or our Rotary of Hudson YouTube website. If that's something that you haven't checked out yet, hop on YouTube, Rotary of Hudson, subscribe. You can keep up to date if you're ever out for a meeting, see what's going on. Just a couple of announcements here that I wanted to mention. I went to a membership summit, a meeting at the district level on Monday, and there were about 10, 15 clubs represented, maybe 20 folks there. And one of the amazing things, we were looking through membership reports, and our club is looking really good. Back in 2015, we had 48 members, and now today we have 59 members, and we're growing. And that's awesome. So round of applause for everyone. You know, that's, you know, everything works and nothing works, or nothing works and everything works. So let's keep having fun, keep inviting your friends and family members, and we'll keep growing. So I wanted to share that with everyone. Very exciting. As you see here, the strategic planning session next week during our regular meeting, we're going to dig into club projects for the year. We're going to share ideas and resources and support if we have for our club leaders and our committees, so that we can strengthen our impact in what we're doing. We're going to talk a little bit about club dues and break that down for you to let you know exactly where your dollars are going. And we're also going to discuss a new revised bylaws. So we'll be sending out a copy of those revised bylaws to the club, and we'll talk about those and we'll vote on them at the following meeting. This morning, to kick things off, I don't know if you saw the slide for it, but the annual gala last week, we celebrated Are You OK effort in Hudson, taking care of senior citizens. And today we're honoring other seniors at Hudson High School. And to share a little bit more about that, Gail Royster.
Beautiful James.
Yep. While Gail's coming up, I think for next week, I believe we don't video, so that way we could have a very open discussion.
Ron? Where's Ron? Good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning, Gail.
We are so happy to make the formal presentation to Hudson Community First this morning, and specifically to the Uncharted Waters program, which completed its second annual event. And to tell us a little bit more about that, we have the dynamic duo of the two Lauras, Laura Gasparo and Laura Jones, who are co-chairs of Hudson Community First. Ladies. Good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning.
Good morning, Laura and Laura.
Well, we're so proud to be here today. You know, when we look out in the audience, we know that all of you have children and grandchildren that have gone through the Hudson schools. And right now, all of you are making a great difference for the 400 so kids that graduate every year from Hudson High School. This year, the program was in April, and it consisted of 4 different sessions that was developed by Kelly Kemp and all of the principals at Hudson High School. So we work very closely with the school administration to put together this program to really give them the seniors a diverse look at what life could be like and what they need to know outside of Hudson's little bubble. So the things that they talked about were why wellness works for college success, and that was presented by Sandra Emmerich from Neomed. The next one was relationships, sexual assault, and date rape. That was presented by Julius Payne from the Rape Crisis Center in Summit County. A mirror reflection, am I included? A conversation about diversity was presented by Dr. Heather Burton from Case Western Reserve University. And the last one, which was the favorite of all the students there, Now That You're 18, What You Need to Know, by Judge Lisa Coates. They also get a snack. They got lunch from Jersey Mike's. They have a class photo session. And then we have a lot of giveaways, a raffle. Kids win Amazon gift cards, things for their dorm rooms. So it's a well-rounded program. It's very well received by the seniors, by the school district, and we're very proud to be a part of it, and we're so glad that you're proud to be a part of it too. There is surveying done after to see what the seniors do have to say about the program, and Laura's going to share that with you.
Good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning, Laura.
So of the surveys, 406 seniors participated and only 103 responded. But remember, they're graduating a week later, so they've got other things on their mind. But the surveys came back very positive. The least favorite topic was the wellness topic. That's the second year in a row. So we're going to discuss and see if we can find another topic. The favorite, like Laura said, was Lisa Coates. talking about what you need to know, and some of them came out just shocked about some of the stuff you need to know when you turn 18 that they didn't know. The district next year wants the principal to work with some of the senior leaders to get some more ideas. A few things we changed. One is we had goodie bags, which we had last year, but we added some information in there that we felt they also needed to know from the League of Women Voters, and Chris Barker is here somewhere, but she gave us a whole bunch of information on banking when you turn 18, different things you need to know about banking, which is important. In the survey, they asked if the program is valuable, and they overwhelmingly said yes. One of my good friends is a high school teacher in a neighboring district, and she said they are so jealous of this program because they really need it in their district as well. I think every high school needs a program like this. So next year, a few things they might change. The planners might try to adjust the schedule so that the students aren't in 4 sessions where they sit the whole time, maybe something that'll keep them active, and also a way to get more feedback from the students. So thank you again for your generosity. We really appreciate it.
And of course, we have the big check presentation. This is one of the 3 beneficiaries that we are committed to with the gala each year. So the Rotary Club of Hudson is sponsoring the Uncharted Waters program. Thank you.
It's already cleared. You're good. It's hard to deposit it. It's slot.
There. Thank you, James.
Make sure I wrote the other ones. I make sure I wrote them in the last fiscal year.
So when the gala kickoff comes around this year, we know exactly the impact that we're having. So it's awesome to see that. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Gail, for all the work that you do with the gala. A little bit of somber news, and I'm going to spin this into what I think is a really awesome Rotary moment. This morning I came in a little bit early, and Den Rich was setting everything up. It was about 6:30 or so, and I asked him, "Hey Den, how are you doing?" He said, "Well, not so great." A neighbor and friend of his, Paul Bodden, who many of you know, he's been a Hudsonite for many years. He was the president of the school board, and he passed away last night. So thoughts and prayers out to Paul and Molly, his wife, and his family. But the spin here into my Rotary moment that is just really special for me. Den Rich was up all night last night. He was at the hospital with Paul, and I started out by mentioning he was here at 6:30 a.m. this morning, setting everything up and making sure that we're able to have this meeting that we're having. So I think that is an amazing thing, and that just kind of shows what we're about at Rotary. So I think that's really great, and thoughts and prayers to the Bodden family. Next update that we have is Pat Shearer with Art on the Green.
August is almost here, so we have the sign up for Art on the Green coming up. We really need help late Saturday afternoon, so if you're available from 3:30 to 5:30, we have a lot of spots available at that time. And also behind the Art on the Green is also the picnic with the Scout Troop at the Scout Cabin coming up on August 4th. So if you want to sign up for any of those, today's the last day to sign up for the Scout Cabin, because we'll be getting the food and that kind of stuff for next week. So looking forward to getting everybody's participation. Appreciate all your support.
And I'm going to throw out a quick Hail Mary here announcement. Back when we were doing Relay for Life, James Field mentioned, hey, we're unable to find the Rotary tent, the pop-up tent that we've been using for many years. So the Hail Mary is, if you have any information about where that might be, or access to a really nice one, let us know. we have one that's a little bit iffy, so we're getting our supplies ready for Art on the Green and making sure that we have what we need. So please let me know if you have any resources or ideas about where that tent might be.
Actually, so if you have a tent, it would be a 10 by 10 pop-up tent, because we have the cover, but someone has our tent.
Perfect, thank you. Moving into our featured program this morning, I'd like to call Joe Avella to introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you, Evan. So today we conclude our July program series on arts and culture. And we're pleased to have with us today Mark Masuoko, the Chief Executive Officer of the Akron Art Museum. With over 30 years leadership experience, Mark has successfully led nonprofit organizations and businesses achieving exceptional performance, profitability, and sustainability. As the John S. Knight Director and CEO of the Akron Art Museum, he's utilized his 3 decades of arts management and community development to transform a 95-year-old organization into a 21st century organization. He's restructured the museum's operations, their exhibitions, marketing, civic engagement, and dramatically increased the number of visitors and membership. Originally from Honolulu, Mark earned his Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from the University of Hawaii and a Master's in Fine Arts from Cranbrook Academy of Art in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Prior to joining us in Akron, Mark was in Omaha, Nebraska. He's a member of the Association of the Art Museum Directors and has served as an advisor or director to a number of organizations, including but not limited to the Joyce Foundation, Joan Mitchell Foundation, National Endowment of the Arts, the Las Vegas Arts Commission, and the Downtown Akron Partnership. So please extend a warm Rotary welcome to Mark Masuoko.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mark.
So I'm going to stand in front of the podium, because if I stand behind the podium, it's not going to be good. You'll only see my head.
Do you have your
So exactly, I'll end up being a talking head. So I want to just spend a few minutes with you and talk about the Akron Art Museum, but more so give you an idea of some of the amazing things that are happening at the museum. I will grab my clicker here. So I understand this is Arts and Culture Month, and that you had a speaker here a few weeks ago, Nicole Mullet. Tough act to follow. She's a lot cuter than I am. She knows a lot more about the general arts in our city, but hopefully she's been able to lay the groundwork on what's going on in Akron. Lots of interesting activities, as well as what I feel is a new vibrancy happening within the city. So I'll tell you a little bit about the Akron Art Museum. Founded in 1922 as the Akron Art Institute. We had several different locations, mainly around what has become the downtown area, but most significantly, in the late 70s, we moved from what used to be the Carnegie Library right on the corner of Market Street and High Street, right across the street to what was the old post office. It was significant. It was the move that created the momentum for the museum to commit to being an art museum. And what I mean by that is actually as a collecting institution. And so the museum evolved into this organization in so many ways, as far as not only collecting art, but thinking about its role in the community. And as the museum continued to grow, the next logical step was to expand. So in 2007, the museum embarked on a capital campaign and an expansion campaign that really tripled the size of the museum. The museum now added an extension on from Coop Himmelblau, which was an architectural firm from Vienna. It's a world-class building, and in so many ways it changed us from a 20,000 square foot organization to 60,000 square feet. So we tripled our space, but we also did it because we wanted to show more of our really amazing and extensive collection. And so the museum transformed, and in 2005, 2013, when I arrived, we immediately embarked on a new capital campaign to sort of close the construction process or the cycle and actually expand our outdoor space into what has become our Bud and Susie Rogers Garden. The garden was created, as I mentioned, it started in 2014. We did a design build. We raised and completed a $3 million capital campaign. And then in 2016, we dedicated the garden. It gave us the opportunity to develop a 1 acre piece of property right in the middle of downtown. It's a new green space, urban green space. It's an art space. It's a community space. And we envisioned it as a place where people would come and gather. It really has become the new sort of civic and cultural commons for Akron. In so many ways, the people that come here not only learn about art, which is really one of the aspects of coming to the art museum, but they get to spend time together. As you can see, I'll just say a few things about the garden, only because it's become such a great and dynamic space for us. And that when we designed the garden, we had one goal in mind, is to actually get people to slow down and get people to start looking around at their environment. So as you see on the top portion, as you actually move towards Broadway, which is going east, you see a grouping of some plantings in the background. That's what we call affectionately as the crisscross, and it's basically sort of switchback that goes through the garden and intentionally meant to get people to slow their pace. And so the garden is really used for a number of things, and as I mentioned to a few people here, is that we are going to conclude our Downtown at Dusk concert series on Thursday. We do every year for 33 years, we've done a free outdoor concert. On Thursday, it's going to be Sammy De Leon, who is just an amazing, nationally known Latin jazz artist. And so he's going to be playing in the garden. It's free. You can come and hang out, come early, bring your lawn chairs, hang out in the green, but also enjoy just some world-class music. So as I mentioned, in 2016, we launched the Bud and Susie Rogers Garden. It's been amazing. The last concert we just had, we had over 1,100 people attend the concert. And it's not only because of the sort of amount of people coming, but the sort of joy and the sort of happiness that you see people come when they spend time in the garden, more so spending time with their friends and family. And that's really what the point of that garden was, as a connection point. We do a lot of things at the museum, but one of the things that I think I'm most proud about is how we bring the community into the museum. Our theme is really surrounded around a concept called Art is for Everyone. And we truly believe it, that what the Akron Art Museum is as a museum, but also as a resource for our city, is to be able to allow everyone equal access to art. So we have yoga in our galleries. We have children's programs and puppet shows in our lobby. We partner with many organizations, and in this case including that Verb Ballets, that do performances, and then this was part of a movement class for seniors. That was one of our most successful programs last year. People come and they not only bring reverence to our space and to our galleries, but they enjoy the exhibitions. And one of the things that I think we're most proud of is that when you come to an exhibition at the Art Museum, it's an experience. And that you have not only the amount of time to come and walk through our galleries, but you also leave with an impression about how art can impact your life. We have art in our galleries. This is a recent exhibition by an artist named June Kaneko, and who's a internationally known sculptor and painter and ceramic artist. But we also have art outside of our galleries. And so as we continue to develop our space in our Bud and Susie Rogers Garden, we also will start to develop our collection for our outdoor space. Currently, we have Front. So hopefully some of you have heard about Front. It's an international triennial that's presented in Akron, Cleveland, as well as Oberlin. Over 100 artists participating, and numerous projects inside of museums, including the Cleveland Museum of Art, Transformer Station, and other venues within Cleveland, but at the Akron Art Museum. We have 16 artists presenting from all over the world, which is the largest group of artists presenting at Front. So if you have an opportunity, it's a great chance to come and see some amazing artists and some amazing exhibitions at the Akron Art Museum. About 3 years ago, we decided to take what we consider our treasures out into the community and created a project called Inside Out. This was a collaborative project with the James L. and John S. Knight Foundation. And what that really meant is that we took some of our iconic artwork, paintings, reproduced them and put them out throughout the community. It was really a way to take art directly to the people. So we took it into the metro parks and the National Conservancy forests, and we took it all over the community. And what we learned from that was that it gave us the opportunity to understand how people can connect with artwork in their daily lives. It really meant so much more when we actually took the work and put it into the communities, because the communities actually felt that they had some ownership to the work, which for us was one of the most important things. We recently launched a new program called Akron Art Library, which we worked with local artists. We commissioned over 40 artists to create unique works that will be lent out to the Akron public library system. So all you need is a library card, and you can rent a piece of art or borrow a piece of art. It's a really great program. Almost immediately after we launched it, almost every single piece of art went out through the doors. And so it was another way to continue this sort of tradition of what we started with Inside Out, but actually take it a step further and actually bring art into people's homes. And so it's really some of these innovative programs that I think have been the most exciting, and hopefully gives you a better perspective of what we're trying to do at the Akron Art Museum. So I'm going to just kind of open it up for some questions. And you got to have at least one question.
Well, as someone who really enjoys the art museum and was wondering whether that was like a Christmas ornament or a fishing lure or something.
Yeah,
but
so I don't know if anyone had a chance to see this.
I remember seeing that.
The project. So we worked with an artist named Tony Fair. And Tony was really a sculptor working within our galleries in a fairly traditional exhibition, and we asked him if he would like to do a project somewhere else within the museum's footprint. And he proposed to us to create this project, which was basically using giant marine buoys and hanging it from our cantilevered, what we call the cloud. And I think what I love most about it is that this particular iteration of the project was hanging over Market Street, and we have one of our cantilevered structures hanging over Market Street. And so every day, as thousands and thousands of people drive past Market Street, they saw this giant red ball buoy hanging there, and I can't tell you how much attention we got as far as questions about why is it there, and creating a public nuisance, and we're distracting drivers, and it was the best thing. It was like the only reason people wrote me letters was to tell me about either not only their negative experiences, but I think their positive experiences about rediscovering the museum, and actually what a great reminder that the museum was there.
Well, I saw it and I enjoyed it, but was wondering what it was. Also, a question. So you get some really amazing exhibits. I mean, I remember you had the Escher exhibit, and just so how do you go about identifying and then bringing those exhibits to Akron?
Definitely. So we have basically two different processes. We have an amazing team, a curatorial team. We curate our own exhibitions as well as select exhibitions that have a national tour. And so we try to do a nice balance and combination of both aspects. Having said that, no matter how, whether or not we curate the exhibition or we take it in from another institution, the connecting pieces that I think is our strength of the museum is the way that the interpretive materials and the education programs are created, because those are unique to our museums. And so it's the programs that really bring additional meaning to the exhibitions. But that's basically the process of how we select the exhibitions. Oh, yes, yeah.
One of your principal responsibilities is your financial affairs. How does the financial health of the museum look?
Yeah, it's it's one of the aspects that I feel. Sorry, I don't mean to keep crossing in front of the projector.
That's no problem.
that I'm most proud of is that the museum has had, we're on our 97th year as an institution. And I think over those 97 years, the museum has grown significantly. In the last few years, at least since I've been here, in the last 5 years, the museum is in amazingly solid financial ground. It's given us the opportunity to grow, but also to think about what it means for the museum to be a great resource at the right size. It was really an important aspect for us to figure out what a solid baseline was, how many employees we needed to have, how many programs we needed to do a year, how we were going to do those programs, and then make sure we could pay for everything. And so, again, I'm proud to say that the museum is in really great shape. So, it has to do with membership. I'm going to make one last pitch.
It seems that
if you're not a member of the Akron Art Museum, please consider it. We are a member-supported organization, and every contribution is appreciated. So I'm really pleased to be able to be here and honored. And maybe there's another question?
Yeah, Mark, you mentioned about introducing art to the community. Do
Yeah.
you have any educational programs for children, introducing children?
Oh my goodness. I think the museum has always been identified as a great, as I said, as a great resource. When we got there, we had a number of programs spread out through the week. So we got programs on Sundays and Wednesdays and other days throughout the week. One of the programs that we did launch in order to sort of bring all the programs under one umbrella is a program we call, simply put, is Free Thursdays. It's a program that has actually taken off and through the sponsorship of the J.M. Smucker Company. But what that really has done is given us a chance to sort of own a day. So on Thursdays, to the question about children's programs, we do programming from morning to evening every Thursdays. The morning hours and the afternoon hours are usually family and kids programs. We started a program, let's say about 2 years ago, called, and this is one example, besides our drop-in activities, is a program called Art Days. Art Days is really a program that's focused from children that are from 0 to 2 years old. And so you're asking, well, why? What do you do if you're a 2-year-old and you come to the Akron Art Museum? And I was totally stunned when I saw this program, because it's not just a program where you maybe potentially take your infant and tour them to the museum. They're literally in the galleries, looking at art, experiencing art through different means, through color and texture, and it's also about the parent or the caregiver that's there with the child at the same time. It is a life-changing program. We have this mantra of starting early, so I don't know if we can start any earlier than Art Days, and really give people a great introduction into the Art Museum. So it's one of our core programs and one of the things that I think we do best.
Am I on?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for enlightening us. And I had a question when you talked about bringing the art into the community, and I saw a lovely picture on a post. How do you preserve and protect that? What's the process?
Yeah, so those works that we did for Inside Out were reproductions of the original. Okay. And that was one of the key points. Really amazing reproductions, almost to the point where we got phone calls from people asking us if they knew that we had a painting. So, I think we took that as a great sign, because we really took a lot of effort not only to reproduce them, but to put them in a sort of period correct frame. And so it really does mimic the work as you come in. We really do want people to come to the museum and see the original piece and compare it, or actually just take a closer examination. But in that case, that was really one way to just suggest the level and the sort of quality of the collection, and then also to get people to come back into the museum and experience it.
Thank you.
The question over here. What is the museum's current policy about collecting art as opposed to exhibiting art?
Yeah. So that's a great question, because I think that really is one of the things that distinguish us as an art museum is our collection. I must say that one of the things that I think the museum has the strongest reputation is that we've had some amazing directors that preceded me, visionaries, people who took risks early on. You know, the museum is a sort of medium-sized museum. We've never had an exorbitant budget for acquisitions. We have established a great endowment for our acquisition fund, but speaking to that, the process is really about the activity and the sort of awareness that our curators and our staff go through as they start looking for potential acquisitions for the museum. So the first thing we look for is fit. How does that particular work, painting, sculpture, fit within the collection and the historical context of the collection? Second is obviously who is the artist, and why do we feel it's significant that the artist is contributing to the collection and the history of the museum? But then also, how can we contribute to that artist's scholarship? So the research that we do for that artist, putting that work within the right context, but then also really thinking about developing as a collection. So we have many works that we have many artists that we have multiple works from. Because as we know, artists' career spans over a long period of time, and artists do change. And one great example is we have one of the most amazing collections of Lyle Wilson. And many of you know who she is. She's a treasure. She was an amazing artist, and right here from Hudson. And so if you come to the Akron Art Museum, you will almost always see one of her works on display, not only because we're proud of her work, but she was just such an amazing artist that changed and touched so many people's lives. And so we have works that span probably 20 years of her career. It may not all be on display at the same time, but it's something that we feel that we've been able to contribute to as far as continuing to collect. And so we do acquisitions as well as we do donations. So about 80% of the work that comes into our collections are donated, and then we have a whole process through our curatorial committee that helps us review all the donations. I wish I could just go out and buy everything and just not have to talk to anyone, but that's not our process, and so we have a very thorough process of acquisitions.
Congratulations on 97 years. That's wonderful. Are you planning something special that you can reveal for your centennial?
So we're talking about it. It's definitely coming up. I think what I can reveal at this point is that we will be taking a major reconsideration of our galleries and rethinking about the installation. So we will be in the process of reinstalling the entire museum in a way that we feel is not only brings it up to sort of contemporary standards, but also in a way that continues to tell the story of our area, of the museum, of Akron. As I mentioned, the museum was founded in 1922, and in so many ways the history of the museum parallels the history of the area. And so we really want people to come in and not only see the art within the context of art history, but actually see it within the context of the city. So I think it's going to be exciting. Our curators are freaking out. It's a huge job to reinstall the entire museum, but we're really excited, and we're also going to be very conscious that when you come to the museum, so many of you have fan favorites. You come and visit a painting like you would visit a friend, and so we're going to try to remain very conscious of the artworks that people really see as iconic in the museum.
Hey Mark, over here. Oh. Here. So it sounds like you've gotten a lot done since you joined the Akron Art Museum, and I was curious if you could comment on what you believe makes a good leader, what some characteristics are, what you try to do in your work.
It's been busy. I think when I joined the museum, my hair was black and I was a foot taller. It's been enjoyable, and it's been enjoyable only because we've been able to make such a significant change to the museum in a positive way. The leadership aspect is pretty comprehensive. Comprehensive in the fact that it wasn't going to just take incremental changes within our programming to really make a significant impact. It was going to take a deep dive into something that we call literally this cultural shift, shift in the community, shift internally. And so the reorganization of the museum internally with our staff and the way we thought about programs and repositioning those programs. And I think the leadership piece comes in to also being able to communicate a clear vision to our staff about what we're trying to do, and then also have a clear message out to the community that we're just not changing the museum for the sake of change, is that these are significant things that actually make the museum more meaningful in people's lives, and that as a leader could be able to come out and create the structure for it so that staff can be successful, changing our HR policies, looking at the way that we not only treat our employees, but every single person that walks into the Akron Art Museum. And so we talk a lot about visitor experience, we talk a lot about the connecting pieces. We know we have a great art collection, but if nobody comes to visit it, then it doesn't matter. And so it's not only about getting people in the museum, it's making sure that everyone has this quality and amazing and exceptional experience when they come. So my job as a leader is to help lead that charge. I repeat myself a lot. We talk a lot about artists for everyone. We talk a lot about live creative, which is our other mantra. We talk about connecting art with people's creative lives and helping them explore what that means. And so, you know, as the CEO, my main job is I work with our staff. It starts with an amazing, talented staff, and then we continue to sort of think about what our initiatives are, and always to make sure that it's mission-driven for us.
Jay? Mark, when I last visited the Akron Museum, in the upper lobby you had a display of artwork from an illustrator, a children's book illustrator.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still have that?
Yeah, at Emberley.
I found it fascinating and very educational, and recommended that my granddaughters go see it. But will there be any other exhibits of that nature in the future?
So we are right in the midst of a new installation called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And really what it means is we have commissioned an artist to create an interactive sculpture as you walk into our lobby. So the space that you're referencing is our O'Neill lobby. It's in the lobby area of what we call the 1899 building, which is the old post office. And so when the buildings were connected, literally connected, that space was really something that never really saw a complete renovation. And I'm telling you this because this is something that we're going to be working on in the future. So this exhibition, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, is really, so we commission an artist an interactive piece, and then every work that's being exhibited in the exhibition, which is actually curated by our education department, has something to do with either a plane, train, or automobile from our collection. So we have paintings and photography, and it's been great. The interaction that we have and the response that we've gotten from the public using our O'Neill lobby and our Corbin Gallery as a connector space for the community and children's programming at Emberley, nationally, internationally known children's book illustrator. What was great about it was not only seeing his sort of productivity in creating all these amazing books, but you got to see the process. You got to see his preliminary drawings. You got to see like how he actually got to the point, not only to become a world-class illustrator, but all the sort of incremental steps. And so for us, the deepening of the understanding of art and contemporary art is about understanding the process that the artist goes through from idea to the final product. And so the more you know about the process, the more you're going to appreciate art. And so we will continue to do those exhibitions. I think it opens next week, so bring your grandchildren back, or even bring yourselves to the museum. You're going to thoroughly enjoy the sculpture. You can touch it. It's something that you don't always get to do in the art museum, but it's intentionally to be interactive. So thank you for asking.
One of the things that I took away from our presentation last week, our meeting last week, the lady from the Tri-C Jazz Festival, was that many of us in this room don't know much about jazz, but she sparked some curiosity, and I was really interested to hear that you've got that thing coming up. Did you say it's this Thursday?
This Thursday, for Downtown at Dusk.
Yeah, Downtown at Dusk, which I wasn't familiar with before, and I thought, oh, wouldn't that be great for many of us to be able to go down see some of that and visit the museum, which I assume that works together.
It's on a Thursday, our galleries are free, so you're welcome to come and visit the exhibition.
So, nice opportunity to scratch two itches at once, yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Tom, for bringing up that question about downtown at dusk. I think that's an awesome opportunity to hang out in Akron and check out the new space. On that note, if there's any events that you know about in the community that you're going to be attending or that you think other Rotarians might like to join, feel free to send me an email, give me an update, and I'll share that in my weekly Rotary reminders and at the ticker at the beginning of the meetings. So we're going to go ahead and do our Road-a-Buck raffle right now. Big money today.
Big money.
Big money. $11. Big money. All right, I'm going to ask Mark to pull the winning ticket.
Oh, pressure's on now.
All right.
The direction, but.
Thank you. I just looked down here as I'm about to read the ticket off, and I am sad to say that I'm not sure where our marbles are this morning.
You lost your marbles?
You lost the marbles.
Your marble.
Winning ticket is 6542. Ron Strobel is a big winner. Yes, we found the marbles.
This is the, okay. We found our marbles.
Did you find the tent?
The tent wasn't there. One thing at a time.
So, there's a black one in there.
Yep.
Ron?
I see where it is.
Turn around for the camera, this could be big money.
Turn around for the tent.
Oh, what a shame.
Don't spend it all in one place. All right, as we conclude today, I have an arts and culture quote, and thank you to the speakers committee, George Schneider, Joe Avella, for putting together a great lineup. Next month, we have History Month, and Jim Ahern and the crew has put together an awesome lineup of speakers. So get out there, share those speakers with your friends and family, and let's fill the room up. The quote to end today, let me backtrack. Is there any other announcements for the good of the group? Gail.
I understand before the dynamic duo of Laura and Laurel had to leave, they have 2 tents for Hudson Community First that are stored in the basement of the Baldwin House, which they would be happy to lend us for the Art on the Green.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you to Hudson Community First. Great partnership. So the quote to end today, it's from a famous American philosopher from the 19th century, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Love of beauty is taste. The creation of beauty is art.
All right. Very good.
All right, that one again is love of beauty is taste. The creation of beauty is art.